To find this sum, we could certainly expand it and kind of do it manually, meaning plug a 1 in for I, and then a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and so on, all the way up to 30 and add all those terms together. But here we want to look for a more convenient and a shorter way to do this. Well, let's start by listing out the first few terms so we can see if we're able to identify a pattern. So the first term would be what I get when I plug a 1 in for I, and that would give us 6 times 1, which is 6, minus 11, so that's negative 5. And the sigma is telling me to add. Now plug a 2 in for I, so 6 times 2 is 12, minus 11 is 1. And plug a 3 in for I, 6 times 3 is 18, minus 11, that's 7. So if we can start to identify a pattern, then we can say plus dot dot dot, because we know it's going to go on for a while. But it is going to stop, and it's going to stop when we plug a 30 in for I. So plugging a 30 in for I would give us 6 times 30, that's 180, minus 11 would be 169. Okay, the pattern here is that to get from one term to the next, we're adding 6. And so that shows us that this is an arithmetic sequence. And that allows us to use the formula for the sum of the first n terms of an arithmetic sequence. And that formula is Sn equals n times a1 plus an over 2. So we're adding up the first 30 terms because we start by plugging a 1 in for I and stop when we plug a 30 in for I. And that gives us a list of 30 terms to add together. And so we're specifically looking for S30. And so we put a 30 in place of the n there. And A1 is representing the first term of the sequence that we're adding, and that's negative 5. And then AN, since we put a 30 in place of n, that's A30, or the 30th term, or in other words, the last term in our sum, which is 169. So that's what we got when we plugged a 30 in for I. And then we're going to divide that by 2. So rather than kind of going manually and just actually adding up all 30 of those numbers in that list, this formula gives us a shorter way to evaluate this. And so this is going to be 30 times negative 5 plus 169 would be 164 divided by 2. And that's going to come out to 2,460.